You know, over the course of the last 2 years, there's been this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on YouTube of Star Wars fans and the Fandom Menace, and I kind of I focus them into two different camps now. I think you just kind of have to, and I've been open about my thoughts and my opinions on the Fandom Menace. I don't think they're bad people, but I agree with Den of Nerds when he says that they've branded themselves into a corner because they kind of have, right? They kind of have. They're if you look at the grand scheme of just the fandom in general, YouTube is a very small bit of that. It's a very small bit of that. A couple 100,000 people on YouTube doesn't compare to the 2 billion that use it monthly. And it doesn't compare to the people out there who are normies who just go and see the movies because they like them. Right? This particular online battle, this online fight over the future of Star Wars and how fans pertain to it really does just kind of exist in this bubble, which is probably one of the reasons why you've never heard anyone really address it that works in the industry. Sometimes some bloggers talk about it, but really not a lot. That is until today, or well, really 2 days ago, when JJ Abrams gave an interview to Esquire and he mentioned the Fandom Menace directly. And man, I'm not going to lie, I was laughing. I was laughing so hard when I saw the video pop up today on Den of Nerds, and he was just mad. And I don't mean that to be mean to Josh. I like Josh quite a bit. I mean that because, like, you weren't expecting it to happen, right? And then here comes JJ Abrams to subvert your expectations. I mean, all things considered, right? He subverted expectations better than Rian Johnson ever could have. We're in completely uncharted territory here, right? The term the Fandom Menace was used by JJ Abrams, and that's just fucking wild in my opinion. It's absolutely wild, and it's hysterical. It's hysterical. So let's take a look here at this whole thing here. All right. So this interview, JJ Abrams opens up about finishing The Rise of Skywalker and what he really thinks of Baby Yoda. And I think, look, let's be fair. What he thinks of Baby Yoda is far more important than anything else in this article. But it does say that the director discusses the culture of Star Wars, toxic fandom, and the years-long build-up to showing the Knights of Ren in action. Again, I think that's also a failing of Rian Johnson. There's so much that he got wrong. If Rian Johnson hadn't have just like completely crapped the bed as much as he did with the last movie, we would not be having these conversations, right? We would not be laughing. I would not be laughing at the fact that the Phantom Menace came out of JJ Abrams' mouth in an interview. And again, like, I'm like, look, those guys are going to be like, happier than a pig in crap. And by all means, they earned it. They earned it. I may not agree with it, but damn, they earned it. All right. They really did. If you got him to talk about you, that's 2 years of hard work, and it was validated. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually like really laughing about that. Anyway, this is what he talks about this down over here. Okay. All right. So Esquire asks the question. Over the last couple of years since The Last Jedi came out, I've been writing a lot about the response to that movie and some of the toxic fandom around Star Wars in this new era. And there are some fans who take issue with the filmmaking and other fans who take issue with more of the progressive themes. I'm curious, how do you watch the response to Star Wars? Because there is a typo there. Movies that changed this modern era compared to maybe the prequel series or how fans originally responded to them. Oh man, the prequel series, that's the Phantom Menace specifically. Oh boy, there were some fun conversations about that. But this is what JJ here says. He says, I think the bigger question is, how has everything changed? The reaction to Star Wars, the increased attacks, the increased negativity, the Fandom Menace, as they call it. This is not unique to Star Wars. Obviously, I think we live in a time where if you're not being divisive, if you're not creating something that is aversive clickbait, I don't even know what the hell that is. Anyway, sometimes you don't quite feel like you're playing the game. I always loved Star Wars because it's got a huge heart. Did I always believe in and agree with every single thing that happened in every movie, whether it was the prequels or the original trilogy? No, but I do love Star Wars. Yes, so for me, I hope, and I'm sure naively, we can return to a time where we give things a bit more latitude. We don't need to agree on every single thing to love something. I don't know who is a spouse or a partner or any family member or any friend who loves and agrees with every single thing that person is and does. We have to return, I think, to nuance and acceptance. And so I feel like as a Star Wars fan, do I love every single thing about each movie? No, but do I love Star Wars? Hell yes, I do. And that's a very interesting comment to make because he does, I think, really kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Talking about the Fandom Menace, and he kind of calls him out, right? He does. He kind of basically like he kind of poses the question there of like, well, I mean, are you fans? You know, like he's kind of putting that out there. He's laying it out there, and it's a smart play. Everything they've been doing this week has been a very smart play. It's been very interesting to watch, very fascinating to watch from the perspective that I'm looking at it from, which is JJ as a content creator, JJ as a director, JJ as a producer, and JJ as a trickster in the Loki type fashion. Because when he puts it out there, when he says the reaction to Star Wars, the increased attacks, the increased negativity, the fandom menace as they call it, that's not unique to Star Wars, which is true. Every fandom has it. Have you ever dealt with furries? My God, it's horrifying. No, but like Star Wars or Star Trek has a massive problem, right? There are so many people that just hate the Star Trek Discovery. In fact, actually, many of them are in the Fandom Menace. So, it makes you really kind of question, like, do you guys actually like something, or are you just finding anything you can to hate about it? Because, cha-ching. Again, my criticism of what I see. But that being said, look, I think you nailed it on the head. There needs to be more nuance and more acceptance and more latitude, right? You don't have to agree with everything. But when it becomes this massive attack and this constant attack, and that's what it's really been. Kathleen Kennedy opens her mouth in any particular fashion, 1,800 videos about it. I'm not going to sit there and say I've never done it. I've commented on it as well. It is part of the game. And he says it here too. He's like, if you're not creating something that's aversive clickbait, and sometimes you don't feel like you're playing the game right. Well, I would love him to go into details as to like what exactly is the game, right? What exactly is the game here? What are we playing? I kind of feel it's a little bit weird to like play this game and not quite know the rules or who's approaching it from what perspective, because then it's like, how do I know what you're going to do? Sort of thing. But so I don't quite get what he's saying there, but it's kind of like he's saying, it's like you just have to have a better approach to things. You just have to take things with a grain of salt and take things with a little bit more latitude and a little bit more nuance and a little bit more acceptance, and maybe not be so quick to jump on the hate bandwagon for literally everything. Like, again, we've seen that a lot this year. I'd say more than any other year, where if something comes out, it doesn't matter if it's real or not about a movie. If it frames it in the negative, people jump on it. They jump on it and they hate on it. Right now, there's certain things like I read the script, the leaks for like Birds of Prey. And I was like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I really like that, but I still plan on seeing the movie. Because again, as I've said before, I think you owe it to yourself, if you're going to critique something, to actually sit there and watch it when it comes out or engage with it when it comes out. The people that are like, all they do is bitch about Star Wars, but I'm going to boycott the movie. I'm like, go see the movie, like put your money where your mouth is. You've critiqued it this far, right? You've critiqued it this far. Just get to the point where you're going to go watch it and then finish, right? I mean, are you edging yourself to the point of where you're trying to, just create a tantric act by getting yourself so worked up for so long that you're just not going to get to the climax? Come on, man. No wonder you're so damn angry. You're not climaxing enough. All right. Like you get yourself so worked up and then not go and get to the finish line. All right. I believe Alec Baldwin said it best. I forget the name of the movie, but it said sex isn't over until you both get your fortune cookies. And I think movies are kind of the same way. All right, criticism on movies, at least in movies that you care about here, it's not over until you get your fortune cookie, right? Now you might be hungry a half hour later, I don't know, but you're not done until you get the fortune cookie. And I think that is the whole thing. If you're going to sit there and spend all that time complaining about something without actually ever engaging with it in the way it's meant to be engaged with, I have trouble taking what you say seriously, because you have no follow through. And that's where I stand on this situation. That's where I stand on people saying I'm boycotting episode 9, but all they do is they talk about it. Well, if you talk about it as much, then go see the goddamn thing. It's 2.5 hours of your life. It's $9. At the end of the day, you can walk out and go, I lost $9 and I'll never see another, and but you still made the attempt. And that's my critique. Again, you can agree, You can disagree. A lot of people are going to do both. And that's the whole point of the internet. Leaving your comments below. And that's what I want to hear. This video is supported by patrons like you. If you'd like to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo.